to another Testimonial Thursday. I'm so excited about today. I have no idea how I got Kat here, but this is amazing. This woman is awesome. She is the best on the world, and I really want you to meet her. So I'm going to show her beautiful face right now. Hey, Kat.
Stop. I'm not all that exciting now. Stop.
How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm blessed. I am blessed. How are you?
I'm really good. Today I got a lot of traffic. Like it looks like the pandemic is going away, so everything is coming a little bit back to normal. So today I got on traffic. I was like, oh my god, I forgot that everything is getting back open.
Well, and Memorial Day weekend, everybody's out shopping and
That's true. I forgot that part too. That's why it was so
yes,
wild out there today.
everybody's shopping and going to the lake and everything. So you were in the mix of all that.
Yeah, I have a little bit of everything today.
Yes.
So, Kat, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know your story, and I know it's super inspirational. But there's a lot
Oh, thank you.
that doesn't know your story yet, so I want
Yeah.
you to say your own story.
I'm just a old country gal from Oklahoma, and I live with my husband Brendan and our two bulldogs. And
They're so cute.
oh, thank you. They're a mess. They're a mess. But I worked in the healthcare field most of my life. The last 7 years before this all started, I was working for two jobs at the same time. I worked for a funeral home and was a funeral assistant. And at the same time, I was the town. I live in a little country town here, and I was the park and recreation manager for our town. So I
Wow.
ran our public municipality swimming pool, and I got to do the lifeguards and run the swimming pool and teach swimming lessons and have private parties and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh,
when
the
you
fun stuff.
yeah, so when you see me talking about the water and the pool and all that, that's like still my heart.
That's so cool.
I just really love to swim. I love to be in the water, and me being bigger, it's just I love to be in the water. So that's a big uh, that's a big love of mine is the pool.
That's so cool.
Um, so my keto story, if you want to, my journey with ketones and with the keto, I had done this years ago. Of course, keto, as we know, has been around forever. If you
Mhm.
want, I'll just kind of go ahead and start in a little bit. Um, I had done it years ago, kind of my own way, and I had some success. Uh, I'd lost 170 pounds years ago,
Okay.
but I never had all the tools.
Okay.
I didn't have the mindset right. I didn't have, I've always been a real disciplined. I come from a very, athletic family, my brothers and my sisters, and, very hardworking, hard work ethic and everything. And I've always been big, but, I played sports whenever I got out of school. I played intramural sports and, softball and that kind of thing and stuff. And so I've always had that in me. But I just didn't have the tools that I needed.
Mm.
And a lot of people that follow me now follow me for um, autoimmunes. I've always fought, with autoimmunes, but I was always able to work my way through them and just fight. I just always fought them and just kind of always. I'm from the country, and we just have
From
that
we
we
fight
have
it, we let it
we
go.
have that mentality. It's like you don't go to the doctor for anything. You just put your head down and you work your way through it. And I want to start off by saying, anyone watching this, I don't ever make any medical claims to anything. Um, but I do believe that my truth is my proof, and my proof is my proof is my truth.
Mhm.
And I will always lead that way. My grandpa, Carl, rest his soul, told me from an early age, you don't have to remember the truth, because you just don't have to remember the truth. And,
absolutely.
you know, I struggle with memory loss and things right now. And so I find a great peace and comfort in that in my heart, because with things that I have going on right now with my cognitive skills and different things, um, I kind of smile to him a lot when I think about it, because, and I know people that know me, and if you used to know me, I could go 90 to nothing talking. And I laugh all the time and look at him and think, you know, I used to have a lot of anger with the way that I speak now, because there was a time when my speech completely stopped almost. And I've kind of worked through that. That's kind of where the tools and stuff come in. I'm like, is this a cruel joke where you got me to stop? And the stuttering and things, you know. But that's kind of a little bit down the road on my story. But, you know, I think back to him and think it really has got me to stop and slow down. And, but, you know, a little bit about my journey. Like I said, I could sit here and talk to you about it all day, because it's not that I'm tooting my own horn, but it just really is. And I'm still right in the midst of this, guys. I'm still in the trenches and I'm still fighting. As you can see, I'm still big. Even though I've lost 200 plus pounds, I'm still big. I'm still fighting. I still have a long ways to go. But we were actually, I knew that I was getting ready to have a hysterectomy. And, you know, at the time I knew I was having a lot of pain. But, you know, I used to work in the hospital and did hospice work for several years, and was a CNA and went to nursing school, did all these things. And we used to, you know, lift people when there weren't any lifts in the homes. And, you know, I was lifting 300 and 400-pound men and working in homes with paraplegics and all this stuff by myself, lifting, you know, and everything. So I just always had that kind of pain. And anyways, we were at a Citizen of the Year banquet one night, and we were putting things up, and I just had these pains going through my neck, and I ended up having to have emergency surgery done to my neck.
Okay.
And had neck fusion and all this, but I had a hysterectomy and neck fusion within 10 months of each other.
Wow.
And everything just blew up in my face. The autoimmunes, degenerative disc disorder, lupus, you know, all these things just bam.
Wow.
And I didn't lose. I resigned from all of my jobs. I had to.
Okay.
Could not work anymore. Everything just, the shaking, everything was so bad. I started losing my speech. And like I said, again, I'm not making any medical claims, because this is before Prove It or anything, you know. I lost my will to live. I was bedbound. I was already large, and I gained another 100 pounds in a year.
Wow.
And the last weight that we had gotten on me that I remember, and that the doctors can check, was between 575 pounds. And there was one, the last time that I had found, was 625 pounds. So I don't even know. I know the last that I checked was 625 pounds. So we don't even know exactly where I was at. And
wow.
My dad, bless his heart, had taken me to a grain elevator and put me on a scale when nobody was there and weighed me there. And, you know, I was making out funeral arrangements. I had friends that were coming to see me. I had one that told me, you know, she didn't tell me at the time, but she had come to see me because she thought it was going to be the last time she was ever going to see me alive.
Wow.
You know, that one picture that you posted, my husband and I had bought $1,000 wheelchair, and that picture that you posted was 6'9" of 18. And we had bought that basically as a bariatric wheelchair just so that my husband, oh, sorry. The dogs jumped and it made me jump. So that he could take me to my nephew's wedding, because I knew that there was just going to be a couple more places that I could go I just felt it in my heart that that was it, that I wasn't going to be able to go to too many more places. I mean, I just knew. I had already had a couple, actually 3 specific instances where I felt like I had made myself stop breathing. And I don't know if you're a believer in God. I'm full faith believer in my God. I've been through addictions. I've been through some 3 specific rapes. I've been through some pretty hard times in my life. And I just felt God breathe into me and fill my lungs back up with air.
Amen to you.
And so I knew that it wasn't my time. And I just kept praying to him, why? And if you're keeping me alive, I know it's not for this, to lay in bed like this and to hurt so bad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wasn't being a good wife. I wasn't being a mother to my stepson. I wasn't being a daughter. I wasn't being, just to lay in here and to die. I mean, I didn't understand it. And I had one friend of mine that she was trying to get me to do keto with her. And I said, I've done that before, but I can't even get up to stand to cook or to do. And my husband was at a loss. He didn't know how to, and I couldn't sleep. I would just lay in there and scroll through Facebook, and stuff. And I'd come across Mandy several times, and her and I laugh about this all the time. She was the very first one I had come across, and she scared the hell out of me. And you and I know now,
yeah,
Mandy is one of my biggest coaches, mentors, supporters. But at the time, I didn't want anything to do with Mandy, because Mandy would have made me own my shit. I mean, and that's just the honest truth.
Yeah.
And I am such a control freak. I didn't want that. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't, I wasn't ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept coming across, and I signed up for her free group and all this and stuff, but I didn't want anything to do with her.
Yeah.
And I was scared of her. She intimidated me. I just didn't, and we laugh about it now, but I didn't want anything to do with her. Well, then I came across Wendy, and Wendy was more nurturing. It was more,
Come on, Kat.
I know.
Let's treat
but
you soft.
And I called Wendy and we talked, and I bawled and we cried together, and but that's what I needed at the time, And my husband was just, he said, "What are you gonna do?" And he started pulling out thousands of dollars of product of stuff that I bought before. What about this? What about this? What about this? And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And like I said, this is just my truth. My truth is my proof. And I will always stick to this, and I will tell this over 1,000 times, because this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I prayed to God, and I told God, if you will put something in my life that helps me save my life, I will spend the rest of my life sharing it. I mean, and that's all I said.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll put something in my life. And at this time, this may have been right before Prove. I don't even think because I wasn't looking for anything. I think she was doing a cooking live or something. I didn't even look to see. I didn't even think she would know she was selling anything or doing anything. I mean, she was cooking some kind of meal. And a few days later, I found out, and I said, "Oh, well, you actually have something that, will help or whatever." And so we got to talking about it, and she started talking about a 10-day, and that's when I talked to Brandon. And I got a 10-day in the mail. And when they say that we didn't have any money at the time at all. I wasn't working. I wasn't getting any kind of money in at all. We were spending an astronomical amount. I was spending $1,300 a month on my prescriptions to try to keep me alive. Like, when I tell you we had no money, we had no money. I mean, the little bit that we had saved up was going completely into my care. My husband has pulmonary fibrosis, 30% use of his lungs due to a chemical. He basically has black lung disease. We put everything we had into this 10-day.
Wow.
And all I can tell you is my life was drastically changed from that moment. And from that moment on, I don't know what it was. I drank it. And, the next day I got up, which was not, I spent my whole days in bed. And I started plugging into the community a little bit more. And I started feeling like myself a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband said, the blue in your eyes is coming back a little bit more, And I felt like putting a shirt on by myself. And you have to understand, I couldn't shower. I was passing out from pain. I couldn't talk. I couldn't find my words. Which I'm not saying that I'm cured from anything. I still struggle with all the stuff that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I still will be. I still have no disc in my back that I'm still too large to have surgery from. I still have pinched nerves all through my back. I still need hip replacement. I still have rheumatoid arthritis. I still have lupus. I still have degenerative disc disorder. I still have all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think within the first month, if you follow my journey, I think I lost 60 pounds in the first month, I want to say.
Wow.
By
amazing.
3 weeks, I was drinking 3 times the amount of pop that I was eating. The amount of carbs and sugar and everything that I was drinking was 3 times the amount that I was eating in food. They were bringing in pop with a dolly to our house every day, UPS. I was drinking so much. Every other day, every third day, they were bringing it with a dolly into our home. Within 3 weeks of drinking, I had it kicked.
Wow.
And by the time I went to Dallas, that was June 1st when I got that 10-day. I immediately became a promoter. I was like, I don't know what this is. I talked to Dr. Jeremy and I said, is this good? I was such a skeptic, and my husband was like, whatever. I don't know what that is. My heart wasn't racing like everything else made me do. I was allergic to everything, all the patches from other companies and stuff I tried, because my skin is so sensitive to everything,
mm-hmm.
everything that I have to, have fragrance free, everything, I had no heart palpitations. I had no jitters. I had none of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt good. I just felt better. And even though I was going through all these other things, I felt like I could function. Like I felt like I could deal. I felt like, okay, I could breathe and I could handle what I needed to handle.
Yeah.
Like things were starting to connect in my head, and I was stuttering now, but I could function. I could handle it. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
I could handle it because I'm a tough SOB, I like to say. I'm a country girl. I'm a country girl. I'm a daddy's girl. I got 2 older brothers and a tough young sister. Like, I'm a tough SOB, and I can handle a lot of pain, and I can handle a lot of things, but not when I don't feel like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Dr. J said, it's not that it's putting anything false into your brain. It's that you feel like yourself.
Yeah.
You feel like the old cat. So when you feel like yourself, and you feel like that 20-year-old that could go out and conquer the world. Listen, you're born into ketosis. Mm-hmm. And when you're born into ketosis like that, when you feel like yourself in your natural state, you could take on the world. That's right. And so we're unfolding in that summer, and I'm just like, okay, I want to be a part of this. Like, I got chills. I've got goosebumps right now. Every time I think about it, I get goosebumps because I wanted to load down the back of my truck with as many packets of this as I could. I just wanted to drive around, and I think I did. I mean, everybody was getting free ketones. I didn't care. I was just like getting them in, and like, you got to try this stuff.
Yeah.
Just drink it. Just drink it. Everybody was like, how much does it cost? How much? I was like, I don't care. And I was grabbing my blender bottles and I was shaking up. I was like, just drink it. Just drink it. And they were like, well, what flavor is it? I was like, you don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just drink it. I don't care if you like raspberry lemonade or not. Just drink it. Just drink it. And I mean, I hit MVP and GoPro and like, it was like 11 hours. Like, I mean, it was just bam, bam, bam. And I was like, just drink it. But we went, and I think, I hit my 200 pounds fast. Now my story keeps going on. When we went to Dallas, that was the first time I'd flown since '93. Was able to get into an airplane seat.
Wow.
Was scared to death by myself. We get to Dallas, and I'm sitting in a handicap area, by myself. Don't know anybody. Just met all of them, everybody, didn't really know anybody yet. And Brian Underwood was up there talking about 1% better every single day. Because I've still got all this weight to lose, and all I could see around me were people running around in their athletic wear and, jumping around and dancing. And I just kept thinking, I don't think I can do this, because in my mind, I still had this huge picture ahead of me. I kept thinking, I just don't know how I can do it. Well, he started talking about 1% better every day. 1% better every day. 1% better. And Mel Robbins' 5-4-3-2-1 was what got me on the plane and got me there in the first place. So if you don't know Mel Robbins' 5-4-3-2-1, you need to look that up.
Yeah.
That's how I got there. Because if anybody knows me and my anxiety, I was a nervous wreck, but I 5-4-3-2-1'd it, because in 5 seconds you can talk yourself out of anything. Oh, I can't go. I don't have the money. I want to be home. I don't want to go. Oh, I've got this coming up. I can't. 5-4-3-2-1. Just go. Just do it.
Yeah. Just
do it. It's the best decision I've ever made. And I have 5-4-3-2-1, probably 1,000 things since then.
That's so
and
awesome.
Since then, I've walked across fire. I've done so many different things that I never thought I would do.
Yeah, I did that arrow thing, and I thought I was gonna die that day.
I broke an arrow 2 times with my neck, and like all kinds of stuff. I mean, just things that I never thought that I would do.
Yeah.
But whenever he told me that about I'm backwards. I have to see how I do it here. Whenever he said that about the 1% every day, there we go. I'm backwards, so I don't know how I'm going.
There you go.
It really changed my life, because I sit there and I thought about it, and I thought, 1% every day. And he said, at the end of the week, you're going to be 7% better. And 2 weeks from now, you're going to be 14% better. And then at the end of the month, 30% better. And I took that and I ran with it. And I made a promise to myself that by Epic, I was going to lose 200 pounds. So from 6/1 of 18 until January, the end of January of 2000. So under, what was that? 10 months? 9 months. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. In 8 months, I lost 200 pounds.
Wow.
Completely by focusing on 1% better every single day. And that may not mean I didn't shame and blame myself. If I wanted something, I had it, and I just decided the next day to get up and do better. I completely, and I still to this day, I stay so plugged into our community, whether it's supporting other people and telling them, you've got this, you can do this, I just stay plugged into our community, the tools that they've taught me. And, I kept going and I kept going. And then I go to events. I had a allergy test done, which has helped me out tremendously. And a lot of people probably want to hear, the allergy test was huge for me, because then I found out all the things I was eating on keto, 90% of them I was allergic to.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So dairy I was allergic to, eggs I was allergic to, almonds I was allergic to. I mean, the list went mustard, watermelon, like all this stuff just started coming up that I was allergic to. And I was like, okay. So I was eating the heck out of eggs and almonds and all this stuff, you know. But with everything I had going on, it was a godsend, because I'm such a control freak. So that's another tip that I always like to tell people. If you can have an allergy test done or food sensitivity test, have it done, because there's nothing more better. I like things simple. You know, don't do all the fancy recipes. You know, that's okay for a special occasion or whatever, but simple. And you and I are the same way. Tell me what to do. Keep it simple.
Very simple.
Simple, 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 and go for it.
I love those the little boxes of salad that I can just grab some salad and put whatever topping I'm gonna use that day that I feel that I have on hand.
Right.
Those are amazing for me.
Yep. And I was able, and I started doing our reboots, which I was scared to death. And I know you've heard this story before. I cried and cried and thought I was going to die. And told Dr. Jeremy and Wendy and everybody, I was like, I can't go 60 hours without eating. I'm going to die. What are y'all crazy? What are you doing? You know, they're like, you're not going to die. And I'm like, oh, I think I am, you know. And that reboot was just the most eye-opening, most self-satisfying thing. At 40, well, see, what am I? I was 43 then, I guess now, 44. I never in my life had control over food like that, ever. And it was more so about what I gained during that reboot than what I lost.
Yeah.
And I've lost 12 pounds. I've lost 8 pounds. I've lost, you know, and now we do it where you can do good, better, best. And, you know, so the reboots
and build yourself up.
Yeah. And I'm well over 25 reboots in now. And I think, you know, we talk about ketones daily, reboot monthly, patience and coaching continually. We keep it super simple, but, you know, a little bit long. I'm wrapping up here. You know, I'm long-winded.
Don't worry.
The stutter hasn't slowed me down too much, but my journey's not perfect. You know, as you can see, I've gained a little bit more back. So as we went into 2019, I still had one thing, you know, trying to get as healthy as I could and get more holistic about everything, because our product is all natural.
Yeah.
They changed the technology and went completely natural, which I love talking about, because as you know, everything is completely natural, fermented ketones that we have now, which makes me ecstatic. Because, you know, if you're going to do it and, you know, you want to do it as well as you can. And we spend time reading, you know, ingredients and labels and all that stuff. So I like no frill, no, you know, just, we know it's all natural.
Yeah.
I started thinking about all the pain pills that they had me on, you know, and pain management was just stressing me out to no end. I had to drive 2 hours to get there, 2 hours back. And so in May, when we went to Orlando, and, you know, I didn't know I was going to stand up and tell my story about that. We had a speaker that was up, Joseph McClendon, and we were going through one of our exercises, and everybody was crying and cheering, and they were having an amazing experience. And I was fuming. And it made me so mad. And I was angry because I wasn't getting the same result that everybody else was. And it had triggered me. And once again, with my rapes and things, you know, and I had just gotten triggered. And one of our business partners came over and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I'm not getting the same reaction that everybody else is getting, and I'm triggered." I stood up and said my testimony about what I did. And I went back to my room that I had by myself. And I said, God, I was planning on taking that to my grave. Looked up at my guardian angels again and laughed. And I made that decision. And I haven't even spoken about this on my page, on anybody's page. And people probably wonder why I haven't been live as much this past year. But I've been on pain pills since I was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And many times through my life, a lot of pain pills. Because I've had endometriosis and fibromyalgia and all these things since I was, But I decided, with all the stress that pain management and all these things were causing me, I decided that night that I was done. And that I was done with pain management, and that I was no longer, even though I have all these things that are going on, I was done. Pain pills were the only thing that was holding on to me anymore that I was putting into my body. I still have to take methotrexate and all these things that I take for, but I was just done. Mm-hmm. And I took my last pain pill that night when we heard Joseph McClendon in Orlando. And I came home, and that was when I did Mandy's Food and Feelings. Mm-hmm. And I started working through all that stuff. And I got in the, like we call it, in the trenches. And as you know, I fight depression and anxiety and all that a lot. And so I gained about 40 pounds of my weight back. Okay. So out of the 275 that I've lost, I've gained about 40 of it back. Okay. And through the holidays and everything, I went through a real bad bout with my depression. But the whole time, I've never stopped going back, doing the work. I went and sat in my feelings. I worked it out, which I've never done, ever. I've always I've never, still to this day, I've never been to a therapist. I've never seen, I've never went. The only thing I've done is stayed in our community and went through all of our, trainings and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I've never had the tools that I've had like I do now. Yeah. I've never been able to pull myself out of my depressions and out of my episodes and things so fast, And I'm not by any means making any medical claims. I'm saying what I have done and the steps that I've done, through this community and through these people that love me so much. Definitely. Yes. That we go to these events and people will, text me out of the blue and say, "Hey, chick, I was just thinking about you the other day. I wanted to call in or message you and check on you." Or whenever I'm feeling down and I'm feeling low, or whatever. And I'll get a message from somebody and say, "You changed my life," and that's what keeps me going. And knowing that I've got our will powder that we all call, or like I'm still drinking. I don't care if it's 6 o'clock at night or whatever. I'm still drinking my up.
I drink one of those, and I won't be able to do it anymore.
I have never felt so loved, so supported. And so this is pretty monumental to me because this is a year now without any pain meds this month.
So proud of you, Cass. So proud. People, give me some love there for Cass. I'm so happy for you.
So
for you, definitely.
This is huge for me because, I suffer with chronic pain and stuff. And I still go through a lot of pain. And, it just... my daily routine, I get up in the morning, I drink my water first, and I mix up a double dose of ketones. I have a big bottle. So I mix up a double dose. I take my Signal OS caps and I intermittent fast, and I usually don't eat until, usually we'll have something maybe about 3-4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I drink another ketone, and then we'll have, a sensible meal in the evening. And then I usually mix up a protein shake with our Protones. At night, both of us have a sweet tooth at night. I used to do cereal, which is horrible, right before bed, you know. And it took me a while to break that habit because I was always telling Dr. Jeremy, I can't stop eating granola cereal right when I go to bed. And he was like, stop it. And I'm like, I know, I can't. And we worked through that, and, but, and I, working with Coach Rob DeBoer, I've learned, and that's the thing, I don't do keto, I prioritize protein now. I realized I wasn't getting near enough protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I focus, I don't do keto. I eat clean food. Everybody's body's different. So I focus on protein. I get plenty of protein in. I wasn't getting near enough protein.
I think it's very important that people know that it doesn't have to be keto. You don't have to eat keto. It's eating real food. It's not being looking for the shortcut and then having the lot of the cheese and all the process and all that. It doesn't work. You need to know your body. As you say at the beginning, go and get that test. The allergy test is very important. So you know exactly what your body needs and what is going to use to replenish and what is going to use to give you an allergy. So that's super important, definitely.
And I feel really good when I eat fruit. Like my brain just lights up whenever I eat fruit. So I eat fruit, I just eat clean. And when you eat clean, it's great because you don't have to worry about the ingredients. I like sweet potatoes, and don't, and what is it? Don't mess up good for perfect. So, but that's it. And I just like people to follow our journeys and support each other and cheer each other on. And like I said, I still got a long ways to go. So that's it. That's just me in a nutshell, in a big nutshell.
God, thank you. Thank you very much. I definitely love your story. People, if you like this story, press the share button and let us know what was the best part, what you enjoyed the most. I love Kat. She have an amazing story. And I definitely love having you here today. So
thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Love you too.
I will see you soon, guys. And thank you for joining this Thursday. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.